Alrighty, guys, we're back for Is It Jewels? And this is an Outlaws of Thunder Junction standard brew, and I'm Redcat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. We got 3 Enigma Jewels in here. This is a 1-mana legendary artifact. It enters the battlefield tapped, and it taps for 2 colorless. But you can spend this mana only to activate abilities. Okay, that's a pretty neat card. It also has a craft ability that we're probably not going to activate too often, so I'm not even going to go over it right now. We have a whole bunch of activated abilities that we would love to use the jewel for, like Collector's Vault, for example. It's a 2-mana artifact. You can pay 2, tap it, draw a card, then discard a card, and then you also create a treasure token. Very nice, guys, which actually reminds me, this was a suggestion down in the comments. So thank you so much for the suggestion. It's going to be a fun one. It was essentially to pair the jewel with Collector's Vault to do some fancy top-end things early on. So we're going to be pairing all that with like Reenact the Crime, for example. This is a 4-mana instant speed. It has 3 blue sources up there. So it might be a little greedy sometimes, but luckily like mana fixing on the treasures could help. So exile target a non-land card in a graveyard that was put there from anywhere this turn. Copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. So of course that counts if we're discarding it as well. So we could discard like Etali, for example, to the Collector's Vault, then activate Reenact the Crime and get a very early Etali, I believe as early as turn 3? Yeah, let's run through that real quick, right? It would be turn 1 Enigma Jewel, and then turn 2 Collector's Vault, turn 3 drop your 3rd mana, use the Vault's ability off the Jewel, get the treasure token, you're discarding the Etali off the Vault, and then spending your 3 mana plus the treasure to reenact the crime, get a copy of Etali. Yeah, dude, turn 3. That's pretty wild stuff, huh? You have another top end here too that we wouldn't mind hitting on turn 3, right? This is Realm-Scorcher Hellkite. The 6 mana 4/6, it's rocking that bargain. It has flying and haste. So it has an activated ability at the bottom for 1 and a red. You can have Realm-Scorcher Hellkite deal 1 damage to any target. And when it enters the battlefield, if it was bargained, you also add 4 mana in any combination of colors, which of course could come in handy, especially when this is very much an artifact build. So I have a bunch of other artifacts packed into stuff that also has activated abilities like Surge Engine, for example. We have Gingerbrute packed in. We do have Agatha's Soul Cauldron to work with all these activated abilities as well. To fit the artifact theme, we have 3 Voltage Surge as our main removal, but also Legion Extruder is acting as a piece of removal in here too. As it ETBs, it deals 2 damage to any target. And it has an activated ability at the bottom for 2. You can tap this, sacrifice another artifact, create a 3/3 colorless golem artifact creature token. So that pairs nicely with the Enigma Jewel, of course, right? Because it is exactly the 2 mana. So you can use the Jewel to activate this ability. Then fitting that whole artifact theme where we're sacrificing our artifacts and whatnot, just to get better artifacts at that point. Fitting that sacrificing artifacts theme, we have all 4 Crime Novelist in here too. This is a 3 mana, 1/3. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, you put a +1/+1 counter on Crime Novelist, and then you also add 1 red mana, which is actually pretty wild, dude. What else do we got in here, guys? We also have a big score packed in for more discarding, more ways to get more artifacts and treasures on the board. All that's fine and dandy. We have Esoteric Duplicator as well. This is a 3 mana artifact clue. You can pay 2 to sacrifice Esoteric Duplicator and then draw a card. Okay. But whenever you sacrifice Duplicator or another artifact, you may pay 2 mana. If you do, at the beginning of the next end step, you create a token that's a copy of that artifact. That's pretty interesting, man. I definitely just want to try it out. That's why we only have 1 of them in here. And honestly, even if it ends up working out really well in this build, I still feel like it might be a little awkward at 2 or more, you know? Oh, we also have the Key to the Vault. This is a 2 mana legendary artifact equipment, and the equip cost is 2 and a blue. And you could totally use the Jewel to activate the equip cost too. So that'll lower it a little bit, right? So whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you look at that many cards from the top of your library. You may exile a non-land card from among them, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. Oh my goodness. It'll be very interesting to try to like put the Key to the Vault on like a Surge Engine, for example. But also if you're already in that mid game, like attaching it to a Trampling Etali could also be very, very cool. Okay, guys, in the mana base, we're opting for the fast land with the Shivan Reef and the brand spanking new Spirebluff Canal. We also have Mirrex as well as this Fomori Vault, Crucible, Soaring City. We do have an even split in the mana base, even though we don't have an even split here. We're leaning a little red. We just have to remember that there's that triple blue in the Reenact the Crime. Over in the honorable mentions, guys, I wanted to bring up Training Grounds. This is very much not the Training Grounds, is it? But, you know, I wanted to bring it up. It's activated abilities of creatures, and what we're really trying to do is get that activated ability of Collector's Vault down. So just wanted to bring it up real quick. Okay, guys, we do our dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video. So look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take this into some ranked and see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game here. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? Dude, I think it's supposed to be janky, I think. But, like, I actually have high hopes for it, too, so I'm also a little nervous. I think it's going to be pretty hard to pilot, and I hope I'm wrong. Ooh, no red source in our opening hand. Oh, no. Opponent goes first, too. We should probably mulligan. Turn 1 Enigma Jewel, turn 2 Soul Cauldron, no mana fixing. Yeah, unfortunately, without a guaranteed red source in like the next 4 turns, like you just never know. Or we could just never see a red source for the rest of that game. This is probably better. I don't know what I want to send. We have most of the combo in hand, so I'm going to send the Duplicator. Yeah, most of the turn 3 Etali combo. All we need is the Collector's Vault. So we'll start with the Enigma Jewel. Commercial District from the opponent there. And they kept the Surveil on top. Come on, Collector's Vault off the top. Let's see it. Etali. We don't need another Etali right now. Okay, so key to the vault is probably... Oh, it's the only thing we can do, so... Yeah, I mean, other than keeping the Voltage Surge open, which probably isn't the best right now. Based on, like... I mean, technically, sending the Etali would have been a little bit wiser, right? Because, like, it might be a few turns. Oh, no, guys. We're missing a third. Oh, I don't even know how much mana's in here right now. I totally forget how much mana I put in. Oh, we might have to check after this game, but we should be fine overall. Let me think. We have 6 of each basic, right? Then the legendaries. That's 14 there. We have 8 dual lands total, and then so we have like 24 mana. Soul Cauldron. All right, it's something we can play, but we're allowing the opponent a lot of setup over there. Okay, well, Soul Cauldron might be pretty good, and I actually am just going to start grabbing stuff out of their grave. On their turn, of course, because they might put something a little bit better for us to grab. Yeah, unfortunately, once we do see the third, once Crime Novelist actually hits the board... Well, first of all, it might not stick around, but also we kind of have like a wide spread of different things going on here. We can like equip the key to the vault in time too. Maybe we can start doing something fancy, because Crime Novelist gets buffed pretty fast, but we don't have many ways to sacrifice artifacts right now. But also Soul Cauldron has the potential of putting counters on stuff too. Opponent is holding us up here with 3 mana. Oh, they called Mount on the Cavern of Souls, so this is probably a Gruul Calamity list, right? Oh, I'm actually really excited to see this now. They could really pop off. We'll go ahead and pause until the opponent shows up, though. Okay, it is the opponent's turn now, and it is, in fact, Calamity. Oh my goodness. Well, that came down in time. Luckily they don't have anything else on this board, but we like Voltage Surge doesn't hit that at all. I'll take that with the Soul Cauldron, and we are missing mana, guys. Oh no. I think this will be a fun one to let the opponent pop off though, right? They get a nice big creature down here and get the copy ball rolling. Yeah, if we would have kept that first hand too. Ooh, Smuggler's Surprise for the mill, huh? So they must have been missing a lot of extra creatures then. Okay, Armadillo, Stomper, there you go. And then they could use the Stomper. Actually, that's really sick. Oh, well, they have the 7 mana now anyways. I was going to say, since they already come in tapped and attacking, it totally gets around like the Stomper's ability or whatever. It's actually really cool. Okay. Also, we could have used the Soul Cauldron to take care of the Stomper before they brought it back with the surprise. But I mean, let's be honest, guys. Like this is the opponents, huh? Like there's, like we're letting them play this out for fun, and at that point, it's kind of just like me conceding. I'm not even gonna activate the Voltage Surge either, even though we could prevent like 4 of this damage. We'll just see what's on top to try to get exactly how the deck is going to be drawn here. Okay, there's our 3rd mana. Well, that took quite some time, huh? So that would be game regardless. So if we took the Stomper with the Soul Cauldron, we probably would have only taken 4 last turn. At that point, too, even if we didn't take it out before they got it with the surprise, we could have used Voltage Surge on the Stomper, too, to get that into the grave, then activate Soul Cauldron for the counter on the Novelist after we played Novelist. Well, that's relatively important. When they're tapping all this big mana, it's actually really interesting, like the Arid Archway here. Excuse me, guys. Oh my goodness. So they saddle up with the Armadillo. Pretty sick stuff, man. You can't help but to love Calamity because it's such a cool card. All right, good game, opponent. Hopefully we'll draw a little better in the next one. I definitely felt a little unlucky. We could double check to make sure that we do have 24 mana in here, but also like we had to mulligan down to 6 because we didn't have any red sources in the opener. Maybe we could have kept it. Maybe it would have worked out fine. Maybe the next card on top would have been that red source, and that hand probably would have been a little bit better there. Let's double check. Let's see. We have, wait. Where's the land? Oh, 24 land. I've been getting lost in the menus recently for some reason. I'm not 100% certain why. They didn't change anything, right? So no reason for me to be getting lost. All right, opponent, what you bringing to the table, buddy? Bring something cool like the last opponent. Man, that was like I can't complain too much, you know? When you see something cool instead of something that's usually generic. Okay, so we got 4 mana. We go first, actually. I'm going to keep this, man. I don't think this is bad at all. We start with the Canal. Probably right into the Collector's Vault. Yeah, it's going to be really, really hard to pull off the turn 3 Etali because, like, you need 4. It's a 4-card combo for that. And you need them all in the right order, too, so. But even so, like, just getting it all down super early is pretty cool. So, mono blue tempo. That could be scary. That could be pretty scary. Bro, I hope we don't end up flooding out this game, huh? And we did keep a hand that had 4 land in the opener. I feel like Mirrex is going to be pretty good in this one. I feel like there's going to be a lot of moments where we'll be able to create the might and be pretty happy about it. Or use the might for sacrifices and stuff, too. Okay, Moon Circuit Hacker, and they don't have the second blue source, luckily, to play the Siren back down. They're going to use the map token, though. Oh, they're going to mill The Siren. Okay. Okay, Voltage Surge. So we're probably going to just save Mirrex for next turn. We just set up with Soul Cauldron and keep the Voltage Surge open. Voltage Surge on our turn. That way they don't have like a counterspell or protection. I don't think that's terrible. But at the same time, we might be missing out on a better play too. I'm going to play around the counterspell this time around. And they did plug extra mana into this Moon Circuit hacker as well, so... And we'll keep the Soul Cauldron open. And actually use it this time if they end up targeting anything in their grave, which I don't think Mono Blue Tempo does, but... And this particular version of Tempo is very likely like the whole artifact version, but you can never be too certain. It might just be like ninjas. Very well could be. Okay, looks like they are missing some mana here. We use that map token. Yeah, we could always... Okay, I'll take that Gingerbrute. We could always wait until a creature was on the board too. But it seems better just to kind of pick stuff up as we're going, right? Should we start using the Collector's Vault? Probably, especially with like the other island and everything. It's a little bit of ramp every turn. Yeah, well, let's start with the Collector's Vault because it might change what we end up doing here. Oh, Surge Engine. Okay, very nice. Yeah, so we'll get that Mirrex down. We'll get the Surge Engine. Now we can start plugging counters onto that too with the Soul Cauldron. And we can also use the treasure to activate the ability, but we're going to wait on that for sure because like bounce spells and whatnot. Okay, see if the opponent hits their third. They do. Gonna go for that swing in the air. Wonder if they're gonna keep the 3 open here. Roadside Reliquaries, tapping for a colorless. Gonna be Prosperous Thief. Okay, very nice. And then they recast the Spyglass Siren. Yeah, we'll activate Soul Call. We'll do everything at the end of their turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With the land in hand. So we're still 1 mana short from the Etali. I wonder if we just use that for... No, I'm going to save the treasure token. What am I saying? Alright, let's take the Moon Circuit Hacker. Put a counter on that Surge Engine. Fading Hope. Aw, man. So they use the treasure off the thief for the Fading Hope. A good tempo play from the opponent. Alright, so we definitely start with the Collector's Vault and get rid of that Canal. Oh, well, yeah. Canal is still the pick because those are untapped. So it looks like we are going to survive long enough for the Etali. The question is it going to get countered then? Okay, we'll play the land. We will play the Surge Engine. We could be in trouble in no time, huh? Yeah, we'll wait to activate the ability. We'll wait for the Soul Cauldron. And we save all the mana. All the treasures. For the Etali next turn. And hopefully they end up tapping out like they did that time, too. Oh, 4th mana, though. Yeah, we could run this Etali right into a Make Disappear, and that would be very sad. Okay, Esoteric Glyph, and they still have 1 mana open, but it looks like this Etali might actually be landing. We could attempt... Okay, we should probably block, huh? Yeah, we should. Okay, we'll block here. Take the 6. We don't want them to have the treasures, the thing. I don't want to have the counterspell to worry about. Take 6 down to 9. If we put a counter onto it from the Soul Cauldron, I'm not going to do that. I'd rather put counters on the Etali or something, you know? Okay. Yeah, with these last couple creatures in their grave. More mana, huh? How I feel about that. We'll get to save a treasure, I suppose, right? Get the blue source down. Save one treasure. I guess we could activate the vault first then, right? Because we'll have 4. No, we won't. We'll only have 6, right? Wait, am I miscounting? So we used 2, we gained 1, and we played 1 mana. Wait, maybe we could have. Oh, not the greatest hits, but now we have a blocker in the air. And an extra blocker on the ground, too. Like, Etali in general, like, only seeing 1 mana cards off of it. I mean, I guess it's going to happen from time to time. But yeah, now we got some chump blockers, huh? That Fading Hope on the Etali would be pretty terrible for them. Yeah, we should save all the blockers. Yeah, because we have enough mana for now. Honestly, though, like, this style of mono blue tempo is just as scary as the Hadi Jin mono blue tempo. Like, it really does the thing. Yeah, they're going to tap down the Etali probably for the swing on this. Okay. I think we're going to try Soul Cauldron. Put a counter on the Disruptor to have a successful block, not a trade with the Siren. Oh, okay. So we will chump. Yep. We chump while we can because they could easily do this exact same thing next turn, only like twice over, you know? We only have 1 mana open, so we don't have the Gingerbrute's bottom ability for food, which could be pretty good, right? I will put a counter in the air. Let's go ahead and grab the Prosperous Thief. One on the Disruptor here, even though it's probably going to end up being a chump blocker, huh? Oh boy. Okay, yeah. We'll put it on Disruptor. Etali already has a big target on its back for other things anyways. Some tough decisions here. Duplicator, huh? So we don't have 9 and 2, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not quite there yet. I might let's see what we end up seeing on the vault. I wonder when it's going to be worth the swing on the Etali. Oh, more mana, huh? Well, that's probably what we get rid of then. We'll just play the untapped source for the turn. The extra treasure will help us with the Etali swing next turn. The Duplicator can come down, and we still have, like, Mirrex open if we wanted to use treasure, but probably not. Right? But yeah, no, we'll still keep the Mirrex open, just in case that is something we decide doing. Okay, now we have ninjutsu, we have sacrifice to gain 3, we have can't be blocked by... Okay. I'm just double checking what abilities we have from the Soul Cauldron here. We do have the draw a duplicator and then use the treasures to bring the duplicator back with its own ability, but we probably don't want to do that either. I think we end up, unfortunately, saving everything back as a blocker. It'd be high speed hover bike number 2, tap the Etali. Okie dokies. Probably going to do the gain life on Disruptor then. That's probably what we'll end up doing here. My apologies, opponent, for taking some time. Yeah, so they tap down Etali before we have a swing with it, but we weren't going to swing with it anyways. Roadside Reliquary is a draw 2 for them right now as well, so when they need to restock their hand, they are ready. Very interesting game so far. And when you got like a deck that's this heavy on combos and different types of combos, like you see the combos out of order sometimes, and so it's interesting to see how it ends up playing out when things aren't lining up. And it, like, you know, it overall, I can't say like it hasn't lined up for us, but it's definitely a little out of order is what I'm getting at. So another glyph is really good for them. It's going to be big damage. Actually, it might just be... Well, if they have, like, Fading Hope... Okay. They probably have a tough decision here. If it's a full swing, we might... Okay, they are going to keep the Spyglass Siren back. Okay. So, how we want to do this then? We want to make sure we chump while we have the chump, and then we'll activate the ability to gain 3, and we'll go back up to 12, we'll take 5. Okay, Network Disruptor, and we do... Oh, that is an artifact, huh? I'm not going to use the treasures for that, though, by any means. So, decline. Back up to 12. Yeah, with their one island remaining, they want to make sure that they don't die to the poison on the Etali on our turn. So we'll go ahead and activate this, right? I guess it doesn't really matter which one we're picking up, right? Well, I guess it does, because we could have picked up Surge Engine, but we can do that on our turn too. Yeah, technically Surge Engine is a thing. Score. Big Score does nothing for us. So probably going to flip the Etali, and if they have tempo for it, it is what it is, right? Take 2 down to 5. Okay. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it, man. We don't have the mana to spend for the duplicator on the treasures. I don't think we would anyways. Deals combat damage. So we're just going for it, huh? We'll go ahead and get rid of Surge Engine. It sure feels like a Fading Hope, but we'll see. We might have won. You never know. Like a power up hover bike. They dropped the GGs. Is it for us? GG opponent. Oh my goodness, dude. That could have gone either way. Easily. Holy cow. Etali with the carry, huh? Yeah, so when you're reading Atali's ability, however the heck we actually read it here, because it has so many other abilities. So, when Primal Sickness deals combat damage to a player, they get that many poison counters. They're just putting as much power on this as possible with the Soul Cauldron as well. So even if they, by some miracle, had a better block, we still needed to get 10 through no matter what for the poison. Man, that really felt like it was going to be a Fading Hope. Surprisingly, the opponent didn't have it there. Whoop, buddy. Okay, well, keep the ball rolling, huh? That felt pretty good overall. Like, everything appeared out of order, but we still had a lot of power and a lot of, like, little synergies that were working out in our favor. I also kind of feel like they got a little unlucky, though, too. I don't know, just, like, the double glyphs was pretty good. I don't know, maybe it was both of us just seeing things out of order a little bit. Okay, 3 mana. Okay. All right. There's definitely more of a generic hand. Not a lot of combos going on. Opponent goes first. Definitely give it a shot though. Like, we can't complain too much here. Ooh, Enigma Jewel. Okay, well, we start with that, especially since it comes out tapped. Yeah, so far feels pretty cool, huh? Surge Engine. What do you think? Are you hitting this table? Go Gingerbrute, keep Voltage Surge open. Probably not though. Let's attempt the Surge Engine and see if it lands. Might just be like a go for the throat, and luckily the engine gets around to go for the throat. Sheoldred's Edict has been seeing a lot more play too. It's actually going to be a Terra Sunder. I don't know why I didn't think about that when they're rocking Sultai colors over there. Okay, so Terra Sunder is going to be a menace against us. Unlicensed Hearse, huh? Okay. Enigma Jewel number 2 isn't great, but that's what we can end up discarding to the big score. And pretty much anything else at that. point too, but get the Crime Novelist down, get a little setup rolling here. So they can exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard, and the power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards exiled with it. Oh, okay. Free Strider Lookout, and so they're committing crimes already. Okay, okay. So a non-land card from it. They discard our Voltage Surge. Well, that was going to be a way to take care of the Lookout. We do see our 4th mana. Unfortunately, it's going to be the tapped mana. Potentially another game of me complaining that we're seeing things out of order, but you never know. This Lookout could be a problem. Looking at the top 5 cards, putting a land, pretty good ramp, especially if the whole deck is based around that. Ability triggers only once each turn, so they're going to do it again with the hearse. We get the 4th down for sure. Gingerbrute can swing on through. There's not a lot else to consider here, I would say, right? We're just going to have to rely on the big score for next turn, restocking and ramping, and then seeing if we can see some of our top end, huh? See, this ramp is going to be pretty wild, man. Being able to do that once on their turn, once on our turn, and they might be able to do all that again. I'd very much like to just spend this on the Gingerbrute ability and keep the actual mana open here. And we shall swing with the Gingerbrute. Look out, it doesn't have haste or anything fancy. Yeah, this is probably going to be a problem, huh? Losing our 1 piece of removal for the Lookout. I wonder what their top end looks like. All right, they got 7 mana on this board. Like they might swing with the Lookout too. They know it's in hand, so they actually keep it back as a blocker. They didn't ramp with it this time, but they still have hearse to ramp on our turn. Okay. So Surge Engine actually like being on the board. Maybe it's still just a big score. It could easily get countered. A big score counter wouldn't be like... We could try it on their turn too. No, because if we see mana... Okay, hopefully we don't run right into a counter spell, huh? No, Spell Pierce. Oh no. Do we get to spend the Enigma Jewel? No, this is activated abilities. Well... Crap. Okay, well, we will still swing in with the Gingerbrute because we can. Spell Pierce. I mean, you know, the opponent's running blue. We had to anticipate a counterspell at some point, right? I mean, we're running blue, but I don't like counterspells, so... Unlicensed Hearse, they're going for the ramp now. I mean, Mars. Did they activate that on our turn too, and I missed it? Collector's Vault. So we start with that because we can always just discard whatever we see and then still play the Surge Engine. They got 2 cards in hand. They actually, I mean, at this point, they kind of fizzled out, right? They're looking for their top end. They don't have any card draw. 1, 2. Oh, we'll only have, yeah, so we activate this with the Enigma Jewel here. And then we could use the treasure for the Gingerbrute swing, but Crucible, okay, let's just get rid of that and get the Surge Engine on the board. We could use the treasure with the Crime Novelist. Right? Play Surge Engine like that. I'm not used to like actually having Crime Novelist on the board. Usually it just dies immediately, so that's actually pretty nice, huh? Because now we'll be able to activate the Surge Engine ability here too, and the Gingerbrute ability. Phantom Interference, huh? More counter spells, and they're going full power here, so they get a little birdie in the air. Or Spirit. A Spirit Birdie? Huh, maybe. But we do have the 2. Huh. Alright, yeah, worth it. I mean, they do it full power anyways because they get that Spirit. And they make us tap out then, so we don't have the swing on Gingerbrute, we don't have the extra mana to activate the Surge Engine, but it's still worthwhile getting the Surge Engine on the board. Yeah, I think that was a worthwhile full power Phantom Interference from the opponent, and a worthwhile pay for us too, so. Oh, Intimidation Campaign. Each opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life, and you draw a card. Okay, when they commit a crime, it returns to their hand, and they have so much mana they can easily just play it again and keep their hand stocked that way. Okay, okay. This is probably pretty scary. Luckily, Collector's Vault is going to be just absolutely terrific for us on this board with the Enigma Jewel. Deadly cover-up, guys. Oh, no. Reenact the Crime's not bad. Maybe we'll see Etali off the top, right? Let's see it, let's see it. It is, in fact, a land. Oh, no. Let's see. Let's see how long we think it'll take for the opponent to win, because, like, their main win condition might just be the intimidation campaigns here. Which is actually pretty cool. Like, you know, you don't think of this 3 mana thing like being the top end of something, but it kind of is the top end. Like, you ramp so well early on off the lookout. Now you have a ton of mana to commit your crimes and just continuously cast out these campaigns. It's actually really neat because, yeah, it continuously restocks their hand, and they probably have other top ends here as well, but... All right, Collector's Vault, what you got for me? All right, let's discard the Mirrex, play the other Collector's Vault, and activate it this turn? I guess so. Crime Novelist. Oh, see, now activating this turn is actually a little sticky, because if we would have seen the Etali, we wouldn't have had the 4 mana anymore for the Reenact the Crime. If we get rid of the crime, we do have the 3 mana for the Crime Novelist, though. Now I'm going to keep the Reenact the Crime. I think this is heavily leaning towards the opponent. And so just going for, like, the cool explosive thing just seems a little bit better to me. Oh, no. My hand. My hand. I mean, we knew they had that, too. They bounced those back. We have to get rid of Reenact the Crime. I don't know if they're going to actually play another top-end thing, guys. They're just going for the Intimidation campaign. The opponents have brought a lot of cool things to the table today, huh? It wasn't so much... Was there anything that was, like, super generic? Etali! Hey, buddy! You're a turn late, Etali. How dare you? Nah, it's okay, buddy. Here, let's see if we can get you to land on this board, huh? Oh, we do have a free Collector's Vault first, so we might as well do that. It's free off the jewel, so... Oh, key to the vault. Huh. Okay, that could have been interesting early on, because we were actually getting some of the creatures through, right? Okay, interesting. All right, let's see if the Etali gets countered here. They do have 2 mana open. We know that they have counter spells, and each counter spell has landed very effectively so far. It is, in fact, a Phantom Interference. The campaigns bounce back to their hand. I really want to see the rest of the opponent's deck. They haven't powered up the Hearse yet either. Let's let them play it out, right? I don't think it's going to take them too long. They just need to play a creature, power up the Hearse, swing for 7, and swing with the Restless Cottage too, actually would be lethal damage. There it is, guys. Power up the Restless Cottage. And swing for 11 total. Good game opponent, man. That deck looks really, really cool. Is there anything we could do to our build to try to make it a little bit more efficient at seeing things in the proper order? Probably not. Nothing I can think of right now outside of like extra card draw. It does seem to be heavily relying on the Collector's Vault right now. Collector's Vault is such a neat, like actually like a good card, right? It's only uncommon too. It's really cool. I love how it pairs with that Enigma Jewel. Oh no, guys, we're 40 minutes into the video. Oh, come on now. We got to push it. One more. We're going overtime. This is like one of those decks where it's really fun to try to get it to do the thing regardless of what's happening too, so. Okay, let's see. Okay. I don't mind this at all. Opponent goes first, however. Yeah, no, this is good. I like this. I'd love to see the Extruder do something today, too. Oh, right into a ruckus, huh? All right, we might be in danger pretty early on here. Probably an open lightning strike, then, I would say. It would pick up the Surge Engine pretty effectively. It would not pick up the Extruder, but this is probably going to have to be removal. So, unfortunately... Well, what this ends up being then is it would be a lightning strike that's not hitting our face. Or a play with fire, I suppose, too, right? Because it is only 2 toughness. Or a shock, for that matter, huh? Third mana comes down. Godric and the Ruckus, I would assume. That way it powers up Godric into the air. That's a 5/5. And Extruder does not hit a 4/4 Godric, unfortunately. Get a blocker on the ground, but I'm pretty sure this Godric is going into the air next turn again, right? It usually happens. Between the... We don't have the blue sources for the Reenact the Crime. Oh, but... Oh no, it probably wouldn't. Probably wouldn't matter quite yet anyways. Alright, so it's going to be Crime Novelist, because Extruder's just going to, like, poke the opponent's face, and then we wouldn't have an emergency blocker if we actually need one here. Ancestral Anger. Okay. Monastery Swiftspear. Okay. We should probably block the Swiftspear regardless of thinking if there's a Monstrous Rage or not, right? Oh, but they give us an option to block the Godric, but it has Trample anyways. Nah, I'm going to block the Swiftspear here. I think, like, there's a small chance. I don't know what the chance is, but... Okay, no Monstrous Rage or anything, but we did take big damage there. So I suppose we end up seeing what happens. We have no extra artifacts onto the board either, so what looked like a pretty good hand actually just ended up being not that great at all, huh? Could play the second Crime Novelist to have just more blockers, but I think just going Extruder and trying to take out this Swiftspear. This could easily be something to get the Swiftspear over the 2 damage, but you never know, it might land. It is, in fact, something to get the Swiftspear above the 2 damage. But maybe we'll still have a decent blocker with this Crime Novelist next turn. And without having anything like Collector's Vault on the board, this Reenact the Crime is just going to kind of be chilling in hand, not doing too much. But for Demonic Ruckus and just playing out the Slickshot Show-Off, we're taking 5 here. We are very much dead next turn, but you never know. We might see something. Etali. Oh, this is a perfect example. Okay, wait. Yeah. Yeah, even on like turn 5, if the Collector's Vault was on the board right now, we'd spend 2, we'd get the extra treasure, and we'd have the 4 for the Reenact the Crime to bring back the Etali. And at that point, like, there would be a chance. So the deck, like, might rely too much on the Collector's Vault, huh? Everything kind of is on that balance. So Ruckus goes onto the Slick Shot, and then there's not much else we can do here. Also, Godric going back into the air. Mono Red still looking very good, very delicious, very scary. Woohoo! Double block on the ground. Let's go. Well, we got one more in, and it didn't take too long. I would have loved to see... That'd be a lightning strike, too, from the opponent as well. So even if they didn't have the swing in... GG, buddy. Holy cow. I guess we could have seen things in a better order. Definitely got to talk more about that here in the final thoughts. And the more in-depth discussion incoming. Let's see what we got here. Number one, early on, we weren't seeing mana in that first game. I had to double check, make sure. We do have 24. I think 24 is like right where we want this deck. I wouldn't drop any. I wouldn't go up any for sure. Even though after that first game, it felt like we were going to have to go up, but that's just Magic the Gathering sometimes. You know what? Soul Cauldron as the one of, I actually really like this in here. Maybe we want two, but probably not. But like, for example, if you don't have the key to the vault, I suppose you could drop that for an extra Soul Cauldron, and probably just more removal is going to be fine too. Like a Voltage Surge would have been pretty good against that mono red list, but, well, yeah, because Voltage Surge could have potentially hit that 4/4 Godric and helped us out a lot. But also, we just didn't have too many artifacts in that last hand too. I think a lot of this comes down to trying to do a fancy pants thing with this Crime Novelist, so I do think we're going to be changing this up a little bit. But changing it up with what is the big question? So if we drop a couple Crime Novelist, I still want Crime Novelist in here. I think it might have been one of the cards mentioned in the original comment suggestion too. I can't really remember. And I'm pretty sure the comment suggestion didn't come with a list either. It was like Enigma Jewel, Collector's Vault into an early Etali off of Crime was the main suggestion. I'm trying to think if Crime Novelist was just my edition or not. I'm not 100% certain, but it definitely feels like a little clunky overall. It requires a lot of setup, even though like when you are playing up against mono red and stuff, it does have a really good capability of outgrowing and outpacing their burn spells and being like a really good, really chunky blocker. This doesn't happen too often. And the Legion Extruder just didn't feel like enough either, huh? I think the first thing we want to do is go up that 4th Voltage Surge, just because like more removal is it's just not going to be something you complain about. And then worst comes to worst, you just end up discarding it to like a Collector's Vault if you're not using any of the removal anyways. And this is the same concept with Big Score. Big Score is a one of. We could think about dropping this too. Unfortunately, ran it out. The one game that it actually could have done a thing, ran it right into a counterspell. And running Big Score into a counterspell actually feels like it happens a lot, right? Because this is such a good counter because of the additional cost, which of course is discard a card. So we could consider some kind of card draw wouldn't be terrible. And honestly, oh, you know what? You know, it wouldn't be bad in here actually. 3 steps ahead. Because if you're using it for the card draw, the additional cost is 2. You draw 2 cards, then discard a card. These are additional costs. You know, it counts as a counter. Creating a token that's a copy of target artifact or creature. I actually don't know why I overlooked 3 steps ahead for this build. Do we actually want more of those? Maybe drop back down to the 3 Voltage Surge and get at least 2 3 steps ahead? The fact that this can copy an artifact, well, there is a problem though. Hold up. It might just be a one of. Mainly as like card draw. But, okay, yeah, because we can't copy these legendary artifacts effectively, and there's a lot of legendary artifacts. And then, like, if we end up copying anything else for 4 mana, if we end up, like, copying a Surge Engine, is it that great? No, not really. I guess it's nice to have on there, though. And copying, like, a Collector's Vault. Similar concept, I would say. How do we feel about this? How do we feel about these changes? Still a little bit leaning red, but not really. Not a lot of extra cards have red in it, and so this even split makes a lot of sense, especially for the triple blue in the casting cost on Reenact the Crime. Luckily, the treasures are helping us mana fix. Okay, we didn't get to see the vault do a thing today. This is one of those things, man. It's completely unnecessary. Every now and then, that bottom ability will do a thing for you, but it's also a mythic. So you don't got to craft this one. This could just be something else. This could be like another island or dual land for that matter. If you are leaning more islands while the deck is leaning more red, I don't think you're going to complain too much overall, but like you could drop that Voltage Surge, go up 3 steps ahead as well. Or depending on how much you like 3 steps ahead. See, I was going to say like, how much of the combo are we willing to drop down or not see as often just for a little bit more consistency? It really depends, huh? Like the Enigma Jewel could drop down to 2 and we could go up the other 3 steps ahead. But then you're going to see that combo a lot less, right? But then 3 steps ahead might help us balance some things out. Like having a counterspell against that Sultai deck, for example, would have been pretty good overall. Still the same amount of blue, of course. It's a really tough decision. Also, if you go up that 3 steps ahead, that is, in fact, less artifacts to sacrifice and whatnot. And the Enigma Jewel, okay, actually, talked myself back into the 3 Enigma Jewels. Since it is one of our only early artifacts, too, it is a legendary. So you get this down, and if you see a second or third one, you don't mind sacrificing it to, like, the Voltage Surge, for example, or something along those lines, and then just playing the second Enigma Jewel from your hand. That totally works, right? Okay, so we dropped 2 Crime Novelist, went up our 4th Surge, and we also went up 3 steps ahead, and we kept the mana base the same because I think it'll still work. Overall, guys, very janky list. Put it on the do not craft list for sure, but it's also really cool. And honestly, if you guys have the cards, then give it a shot and let me know if... Not the wild cards. I mean, if you have the cards already to, like I said, put this on the do not craft list, right? I wouldn't craft this. Because I think it's going to probably sit, oh man, probably around a 30% win rate. Wait a minute, did the deck tracker bring up the win rate today? Was I not paying attention? I don't think it displayed the win rate up at the top. I'm actually, yeah, I don't even know how many games we ended up playing. Well, anyways, huh? Enough rambling. If you guys made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. Definitely check out that description where we got that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too, if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. Yeah, I think, you know, every now and then you will pull off a turn 3 Etali, but how rare is that going to be? What, 1 in 20 games? 1 in 15 games? I'm not really sure, honestly. Either way, still very capable of getting Etali on the board regardless, so that is pretty cool and very much worthwhile for the 3 Etalis too, because you're going to hit some pretty good things from the opponents every now and then. Like when we dropped our Etali against that mono blue, we only hit 2 1-drops, and that was probably pretty unlucky overall. Okay, guys, like I said, enough rambling, huh? I will see you in the next video.